perspective. Looking forward to hearing from some of y'all tonight. Tell us what you're thinking. Tell us what you're thinking about and how you come to the conclusion. This is solution-based radio, man. So to all the outlaws, we're trying to figure this out. Y'all come on and join the struggle, right? What's going on, my brother?
Outlaw Radio in the building. Welcome to the show.
Hey.
It's Thursday night, and you know what we do on Thursday nights. We do Outlaw Radio. Hit like, hit share, hit follow. Share the live. Let the people know it's going down. Better late than never. We are late, but we are here.
It's CPT.
Right, and it's your boy, the world-class smartass. I'm in the building. Like I said before, when my brother talk to teach, listen to learn.
Yes, sir.
We're going to do situations and circumstances tonight.
What happened was...
Right. Depending on where you are, what you're doing, how you're feeling. I'm here to say I think Black people need to represent a little bit more and be proud of ourselves for the things we have accomplished and not be focused on the things that we have not accomplished.
All right, yin and yang.
I like to talk about Black men as mighty men of color.
Yes, sir.
Mighty men of color.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to hear the perspective of Black men who possess that trait, that melanin, that soul, that rhythm, that funk, that pizzazz, hip-hop, here we go. Like to hit, go.
All right.
Hit like, hit share, hit follow, tell a friend and tell a friend.
Do that.
I'm humble and I'm appreciative of everybody who rocks with the show. We do have a YouTube page, the People's Network. I have a Facebook group, the People's News Network, in which you can get involved in some pertinent conversation for grown-up Black people. No porn, no fight videos, no cooning. And sometimes I put a joke in there, and you can too.
Well, we gotta laugh, man.
Right.
That's mental health, right? You know
happy.
what I'm saying?
Gotta
For
be
real.
happy. Gotta be happy.
Again, yin and yang, the truth is somewhere in between, right?
Yeah, man. I want y'all to get in. Let people know the show's going down. I need my normal people who support the show to just kind of let us know that you're feeling us. And feel free to chime in because these are free microphones. These are emancipated microphones that we speak on.
Now, when they call, we good?
Well, I got a special piece of equipment coming for the calls.
Okay.
I only get caught slipping one time.
That's right. If you're gonna bump your head on a different wall, right?
One time.
Because you're not on the same wall.
No. We'll be ready next time somebody wants to call in. But for now, you can just, get with the live. A lot of y'all do listening parties, which I totally appreciate. And I see that. And I say,
for real.
That's a lot of love from the mill because it ain't no love in Milwaukee.
Man.
There's no love.
Talk about it.
In Milwaukee.
Talk about it. It's a black cloud over this place, man.
Right. We have a morality issue. Let's talk about it. On a Thursday night, let's get riled up. Let's get fiery.
What's going on, Bull?
Look, what's going on the Bull?
Yeah, I see him. You know
what's going on the Kamara Carter, man?
Love, man.
One of the family.
Yes,
La Familia,
yes,
right? He's part of the People's News Network.
Absolutely.
He's part of the People's Network. We do the Warrior Report on Wednesday nights.
Teaching us how to get healthy, wealthy, wise, free, happy, and full of joy, somebody. Hello.
Nature's Nature. Herbs, detox, vitality capsules. Let me give you your phone number. 414-949-2122. It's what you got to do to get right.
Yes, sir.
Shout out to 3041 North.
5-star.
414-810-3131. Much love for the brother Keith Terry.
Yes, sir.
A true Black businessman. A revolution, whether you want it or not. The revolution is nasty. She'll give it up to anybody.
That's what I heard.
All you got to do is just holler at her.
Hey.
She will lick your soul and funk your funky emotions.
And unless you got pictures, I'm denying all that.
Right. You can't deny the revolution.
I'm denying it if you got pictures.
Right. That's not even me. I'm
like R. Kelly. That's my half.
I don't even have a shag no more. Right?
Hey.
It's time to have fun.
Man.
It's time for Black people to be welcome to a platform in which they can discuss their issues.
For real.
Don't get it twisted. There are white people listening, but they need to hear what we're talking about anyways. It's almost like the old school hood phrase of "you too near me not to hear me."
Man,
get involved, man. Be aware. Don't be no square.
When you talk about the trolls, man, let's.
Well, you know what? Thank God, we're blessed because we don't deal with a lot of trolls.
Well, not a lot of them,
but we have one, and everybody who's in the 414, or I'm sorry, in the People's News Network.
People's News Network on Facebook. Check in if you're there and you're.
What you think about the troll?
Man, is he disabled? I'm just saying. What do we do to get? What are you trying to accomplish? What you doing? Why are you here? What are you doing? What do you care? Why do you spend so much energy on our shit? And don't you got to cross the burn somewhere? Go do your thing, man. And here, hats off to you, because you have some sort of demented, twisted wisdom. You know what I'm saying? That you figure. You know what I'm saying?
You just call my wisdom demented and twisted.
Just to my understanding, right? Or lack thereof, right? The dude is retarded. Like but again, like maybe you teaching me something about tolerance, right?
I want to, like, you got to understand this about white people.
Oh,
they are who they are.
Pink devils.
They're gonna be what they be.
Pink
They're
devils.
gonna do what they do.
Yeah.
I'm not really tripping because a white dude called me nigger.
No.
I expect a white dude to call me a nigger.
But in a place, right, where we have the opportunity for like-minded black people. Like-minded. Is it?
You know it. Don't try to do devil's advocate with me.
What do you mean?
Your mad ass.
What do you mean?
Is it? Welcome to the show, man.
What's going on, y'all? Hey, outlaws. Hey.
Let us know how y'all feel, man. There's a lot going down. We live in a country that continuously tries to stand on us and shit on us.
They do it. They don't try.
Right, but we persevere. We
survive.
We break on through to the other side.
Yeah, we do survive.
And give it up for black perseverance.
Yeah,
like nobody ever gives that any credit.
We are survivors.
Black people persevere.
Absolutely.
People of color,
like no other.
Yes,
yeah.
Man. We're people of the sun. I'm look at me.
Melanated.
God gave me this.
Yeah, he did.
The sun makes me darker, but it doesn't make me weaker.
Oh no, it makes you stronger.
Yeah.
Shit. Yeah, that's why
I will knock your ass out.
The suntan lotion is a $1 billion industry.
Right.
You know what I mean? They want to be you so bad.
Because it's anti-melanin.
Hey. Now, well, listen. And they sell melanin.
They do.
Now here's the thing. You tell me where they get it from.
Right. Whose dead body are they distracting this from?
Hello, somebody. Drive-by shooting.
But we know we had a sister a long time ago.
Missing organs.
We had a sister a long time ago who represented our biology, and her cell work, it defeated every disease. And I can't remember the sister's name. Somebody out there, since I know y'all informed,
come on.
Somebody let me know there was an HBO special made about it. And they took her cellular, her DNA, and they've been experimenting on it for years. Trying to figure out what do we do about these people that we got here.
Come on.
Now, don't ever get it twisted. If you're a person of color, don't think that they're mad at you because you got rap music. They hate the melanin in your skin.
Listen.
They hate the way you walk.
Listen.
They hate your innovative procedures.
Somebody is going to call you a conspiracy theorist.
Somebody's going to call me a black person from America.
I'm just saying.
There's a lot of benefits of being a black man. Right, I stick my shit out too.
I'm just saying, yeah, you do.
Brother Talk, I'm trying to get you excited, man.
Is that what you're doing?
I'm trying to get you right.
It's almost working. It's almost working.
Well, you better be in love with being black, because if you ain't, you can't ride with us.
I love black people who love black people. You other black people, not so much.
And that's been his consistent approach to our show since he's come aboard.
Yes, sir.
And shout out to Brother Talk, who's brought a lot to the table.
Oh, thank you.
Who's brought a very important contribution. And if you've been with me for a long time, you know that this show has changed. It's metamorphosized into many different entities. And Brother Talk kind of came in when it was a transitional phase, but he stayed. You know what I'm saying? And let me tell y'all this. Guess what? I'm not the easiest person to get along. No. I know people surprised, right?
No, but on the real,
we love you, Kevin.
While we blowing flowers and shit at each other, like, listen, I learned so much from this brother, right? You know what I'm saying? I had an interest in doing the podcast, and he let me come in and learn about the mics and who the 1 and the 2 and promos and drops, and like he let me do a lot of things, man, and I learned so much. So, you know, gratitude, you know what I'm saying? No homo type shit, but while we doing that,
man, your ass off the show.
While we doing that, right? You know what I'm saying? Good looking out, bro. You know what I'm saying? It's pissed off as you get me, you know what I'm saying? Hey, it's some positive that comes out of it.
Each one teach one, man.
Yes, sir.
The one thing black men have to do is, see, we got it twisted. You think that because you know something somebody else knows, you have an advantage. That's not the truth. If you know something that somebody else doesn't know, you have to go to what Jason would call the universal laws.
Thank you, sir.
Which indicates The duty of the civilized man is to teach the uncivilized. So if you have something to give, why hold on to it?
If it's the truth, it don't belong to you no way, right?
Right. It's not yours. You just borrowed it.
It was given to you,
right? We'll keep it at my house. It's like both ours, right?
Yeah, that's what's up.
So, hey, chime in. The show's interactive. We're live.
Yeah, and we being nice, right? You know what I'm saying? They like, we want to hear y'all fight.
Go ahead, kid, tell him, fuck you. Right. Fuck you, brother Tom.
Fuck you.
Now, you feel better.
Not yet.
Not him, you. Whoever wanted that discourse.
Somebody wanted it.
Hey, look, man. It's like I said, every show I start right now, I have to pause and say, a 3-year-old girl lost her life.
Yes, sir.
Shot via ignorance. In my sick city, we have issues. We have things we need to deal with, which is why I chose to come in tonight on situations and circumstances.
Yes, sir.
Because while I understand the behavior, I also understand the backdrop.
Okay.
So it's very interesting. And you got to look at it. It's a cross section.
Yes,
you know what I'm saying? You can say, well, these people are animals. But we got to talk about the hate, man. We got to talk about something that creates animals.
Hey, cause and effect.
Desperation.
Yes,
sir. We gotta talk about situations where we're locked in a situation of generational poverty and oppression. And sometimes the reality appears to you as a straight line, but it's really a circle. So it becomes a cycle.
Yeah. It
becomes the culture of dysfunction.
Okay.
Holla at your boy.
Becomes a norm.
I don't got the phones. I ain't even fronting on the phones tonight. Let me know. Let me know what you think, man.
But at the same time, let's put the pressure on because we want the phones, right? You know what I'm saying?
Don't be trying to help it. See?
Listen.
You never have a real friend.
Well, no, I'm going to say this on the air. If there's any way I can help, you know what I'm saying, let me know. We're going to make this thing happen, right? You know what I'm saying?
Sir.
But I want to hear from the people, you know what I'm saying, because I do. And I think you do too, actually. You know
no, the people are my people.
Yeah,
shout out to Fried Pryor. I hope I'm saying your name right. A beautiful sister. Brothers keep saying it ain't no sisters. This sister's beautiful. And I don't know if she lives in Florida, but it's always sunshine on her post. And I'm glad she's watching the show. Brother Kamar Carter.
Love.
Nature's Nutrition.
Yes,
Detox.
Sir. Yes, sir.
The herbs and supplements. The vitality
Teach
capsules.
us, brother. Teach us.
He's got we do the Warrior Report because it's important for us to talk about inside and outside. Now, I guess you could say Outlaw Radio is about the outside, right? Because the Warrior Report is damn sure about the inside.
Yes, sir.
So hit like, hit share, hit follow, man. We need to get more people in tune with the live. Go ahead,
brother Bull, I wanted to ask you a question. Chime in if you have the opportunity. If not, we can talk about it on Wednesday or whatever. But they got this thing called the Impossible Meat, right? You know what I'm saying? There's even some down at the Sherman Phoenix, right? And so I wanted to ask you about that, like, because it's certainly something as I try to make a transition over to more healthy eating, more vegan type foods. But is there a GMO, a genetically modified organism type situation going on with that? So I want you to explain that to us, man, because I know, that's your wheelhouse, brother. So certainly, again, feel free to do it this evening, or, man, let's talk about it on Wednesday, brother.
Well, it's like I said, I like to define the People's Network as like I feel like I'm Marley Marl, man. I feel like I'm building this roster of incredible spitters, and eventually I'm gonna make my symphony, my magnum opus, and I'm gonna leave that for history to interpret.
Man,
but I want to assimilate the baddest brothers who can handle these microphones. I got some guests coming up on the show that you all are going to you're gonna love them. You're gonna love the People's Network. You're gonna love Outlaw Radio. Shout out to Gigolo Jackson. Shout out to my brother.
What's going on, bro?
Right, man, no doubt. Gigolo's about to head to Mill, Texas. I talked to him tonight. Yeah. And people don't know, people don't know me and Jig. We got a lot of stories like people don't even know.
Well, we want to hear him, brother.
Well, Jig will be up.
We want to hear him.
And he'll tell you, like, I remember fam used to.
Let's set the record straight on my guy here.
Yeah, no doubt. And then I got my brother DeAndre Love, Elder DeAndre Love coming, my King alumni, who has long been the voice of spirituality on the show. I have not had him on since we've gone visual, since we simulcast now via YouTube and Facebook. But I'm going to bring the brother on, man, and we're going to have a good time.
A lot of questions, brother. I got a lot.
Oh, and he will answer them.
I'm looking forward to that.
He's going to answer.
No, that's real.
So shout out to y'all, man. Situations and circumstances. Let's talk about why we do what we do. We can shame the devil, and we can fat shame, and we can ugly shame, and we can get at the people who perpetrate the acts the most. but let's talk about where the origin of their behavior comes from.
Let's bigot shame, right? Let's racism shame, right?
Freedom challenge anybody?
Hello, somebody.
Right.
I feel my help coming on.
Right. Hit like, hit share, hit follow, man. Let people know. Shout out to like I said, 3041 North, DAMG, Mr. Dante
Chestnut, my guy.
Yes, sir. KT killing them.
Hey.
Got a real project out here right now.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Our actual hip hop that we listen to is very diverse because right now we just welcome valued voices.
Hip.
You know what I'm saying? And I said I had a thing with white rappers and like people, you know, because of my thing with Eminem. And I'm gonna do a hip hop snob segment this week, in regards to Jermaine Dupri. And he inspired me to do a hip hop snob section.
Really? I know can we get a taste? Because if I ask you, like, you know, he had a little bit to say about female.
Well, he talked about females in hip hop. And I want to talk about females in hip hop. And I want to talk about what hip hop actually is right now with women, like with the place that they hold. So it's going to be a hip hop snob coming. And
you got to get a brother some props because he landed Janet. He had enough game.
I never give a brother credit for who he screwed.
Hey, listen, stop. No, because listen, you would.
No, because I'm not really a Janet with the fake. No, like that's a whole you trying to do. That's what you do.
I'm asking you. No, don't deflect now.
Are you asking me when I hit Janet?
Yeah, I'm asking you that.
Okay, no. Unless she was my only option.
You mean like on Earth? What do you mean?
Right, it would have to be on Earth. I know chicks from the hood that I'd rather get with than Janet. I'm not really a Janet Jackson fan like that, so that's a loaded question.
It is, and I only have one response, and I give it to you because Shabbat chat.
Right? No. It's real in the field. It's real in the field.
Come on, man.
Which is an excellent segue because poverty creates a different kind of state of mind.
That is
like decision making goes out of the room, right? And like when you ask me a question like that, I got so much love for grassroots kind of vibrations that like on a higher level, I see that as just somebody trying to victimize me or trying to subject me or subjugate me, right?
And you're right. But aside from that, I think that's a conversation. Look, and somebody listen.
See, Janet wasn't my fantasy.
If I'm wrong, y'all come get me. I'll take it, right? But I think that's a conversation you can have with your girl, right? Unless you,
I would not have that.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? You get a pass. And she like, you know, yeah, Denzel or Wesley.
She ain't having it.
Wesley.
And she better not tell me that.
Well, you'll be honest.
I don't want to know.
Right, but I said you don't want to know. That's something else.
Is anybody? I'm sorry. Okay.
Oh, look, yeah, we getting it. Listen,
okay.
We're here, man. He don't try to make me put my
no, because mine wasn't working, but I'm good now. I'm good now.
But like that's a conversation you can have with your girl. Like, you know, she gonna tell you like her, and you can be like, yeah, you know, Halle Berry or Janet, and she ain't gonna believe it anyway. Like, yeah, nigga, she ain't even thinking about you. Yeah, okay, you get a pass, right? And you go to the concert and she pull you on stage. Or
you think I'm getting my big old ass up
yes,
there?
Yes,
hell no.
I think you are.
First of all, I can't dance.
Well, no, you gotta sit there and just let her give you a lap dance. Like, have you seen a Janet
That concert will be over. When I walk through the front door of the Chocolate City Studios that night, I'm gonna wish I never went to that concert. And vice versa. Because you get your ass up there and do all that shit. Don't when you come back to the crib, don't give me no
Wait, even though she said it was cool, right?
Come on, son.
Food don't taste good no more.
And it ain't no fun when
cold in the house.
If you want to get on the show and you are actually my friend on Facebook, holler at me. I'll bring you on. You can be live. And that, you know, people.
What's going on, Shakila?
It ain't hooked up to the phone.
Hey.
What's going on, Shakila?
Yeah.
My sister. Hit like, hit share, hit follow.
Man, we in here having a ball. Listen,
subscribe
get in on
to our YouTube page.
Yeah, get in on
this.
It's
Outlaw Radio on the Thursday night. And usually I say it on Saturdays, but I'm going to say it tonight. Beverage.
Hello, somebody.
Drinking up the wine.
Vitamin water.
Situations and circumstances.
Yes.
And, you know, the basis to a lot of our conversations in regards to what's going on. Like in Milwaukee, there's continuous acts of savagery. You can just look at the news. And a lot of the most racist white people in Wisconsin justify the way they subjugate us by what they see on the news. So they look at that violence and they look at, you see it, well, those people are animals. How could they murder a 3-year-old? But this brother had already shot somebody. He shouldn't even been on the streets. Like,
he ain't us.
Well, he's not. But,
he ain't us.
But I think the situations kind of dictated the circumstances here. And you got to understand those two words, situations and circumstances. I used to say situations dictate circumstances. Because
They
usually, well, I used to say that. I didn't know if I was right or wrong.
Well, I'll let you know.
Okay, well, thank you. I'm glad you're here for that.
Exactly what I'm here
cool,
for.
young man. I got you. But I'm saying I always thought that because you can say before you encounter something, yeah, I do this or I do that. But if you ain't never been tested by fire, like brothers who talk about drama, like brothers who want to be street brothers, I'm trying to tell you, I've been in the streets and I've been in some situations that were very, very negative, i.e. shootouts, whatever it might be. And there was no smoke effects. There was no slow motion.
The TV shit goes out the window.
There was no romanticizing it
Get
at
that
all.
shotgun barrel pointed
Right.
in your face. It's
Right.
not. It's a different perspective. It's not cool.
These motherfuckers
It ain't
trying to kill me.
LL. You know what I'm saying? Or him, whatever the fuck. Like it's stop the too much TV.
Yeah.
It's some real shit.
Right. So it's romanticized.
Absolutely.
So you meet people who will tell you what they will do, and they make up scenarios. But if you ain't never dealt with a person who can tell you what they did, it ain't about what you telling me you do. Tell me what you did. Don't say, if a motherfucker ran up on us right now, I do this. Tell me, one time some motherfuckers ran up on us, man, and I have to have viable sources to say, no, that shit really happened. Bro really did that.
Well, you got to be careful when motherfuckers author their own story, because you got certain cats
too.
out there that will be the victim and the hero in every story that they tell.
Circumstance.
So wait. Okay, circumstance.
Situation.
Situations and circumstance.
Situation is you're broke. You see no way out. You're a victim of generational poverty. There's no blue skies. There's no rainbows here. This is 100% reality. You live in the city of Milwaukee, which is probably the harshest of the Rust Belt.
It is. It's in the top 3, top 5 every year.
Right.
All Black City officials, shame on you, acting like you don't know it.
So somebody tells you, no, you should just do better. You look around and say, I don't even know what the fuck that word means.
Let me tell you. It's always some
circumstances.
Yeah,
we're still talking circumstances.
Yeah, we are. Come on.
So now you make decisions to move forward. Now you make decisions to do certain things or move in certain circles, and you say, this is how I'm going to make it out. But you end up in some situations.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Mm-hmm. Sometimes the guns come out. Sometimes the knives come out. Sometimes something you were totally unprepared for happens right in front of your eyes because you was in a situation, but you put yourself in that situation. The only way you put yourself in that situation is because you were dealing with the circumstances that you were dealing with.
So, wait, situations and circumstances. I want to go back to the People's News Network, right?
Right.
Because I'm just listening to what you're just saying, and you're brilliant, brother, right?
I'm okay.
But yeah. But they're
I got a GED.
But really? You trying to sidetrack me? But listen. But no. So there's a situation on the People's News Network. We have a dad. He didn't put himself in this situation. He has a 12-year-old daughter, right? His 12-year-old daughter, he caught her, allegedly, according to what we understand, he caught his 12-year-old daughter having sex.
Yes, sir.
He didn't put himself in that situation. It's a situation and a circumstance. He whooped his daughter's ass.
This is why I disagree.
Oh, wait, what would you disagree with?
I think he didn't. You're right. I'm disagreeing and I'm gonna agree.
Wait.
You're right.
I'm totally confused.
He didn't put himself in that situation.
He did not.
He didn't put himself there.
No.
But he ended up in that situation.
And?
But they were via the circumstances. Because first of all, the circumstances is this. Obviously, she had a lot of free time. Obviously, she thought she had figured out times when he wouldn't be there or mama wouldn't be there. Now, well, she was wrong, of course, because she's young. She's supposed to get exposed. But I've been in some chicks' houses as a youngster. I've been in some females' houses when they said, "Daddy ain't gonna get home," and this when you come in and get it. And thank God I made it out. Like Daddy didn't come. Well, If I think about it, I don't want to tell my business.
Yeah,
I'm just saying.
Even if you made it out and you got it and it was a good advantage, that don't make it right.
She got her ass whooped. That ain't got nothing to do with me.
No, and she should have got her ass whooped.
She should have gotten her ass.
Absolutely. And let me tell you, if you made it out in time, that's great for you. If you didn't make it out in time, you should have got your ass whooped too.
Let me see. Let me go to YouTube.
Let's remind ourselves this girl was 12 years old.
Let me get back to the YouTube.
Yes, sir.
Let's see. You said it's clearly clever, of course, and my brother Wayne Richards.
What's going on, bro?
Right.
Consistent. You consistent.
Wayne, holler at Clearly Clever so you know you ain't mad. Go ahead, bro. Because Clearly Clever be like, where everybody at? Go ahead, bro.
No, here's the thing. I got daughters. You know what I'm saying? I understand. I would listen. I have no problem with this. I have no problem with this. If you're the type of person you posting videos of our young daughters out there fighting one another, or you posting videos of our young daughters out there being hot in the tail, doing things they got no business doing, but listen, this is prevention, right? You can't go ask and tell somebody to pull themselves up by their bootstraps, and when they attempt to take control of their children, their youth, their circumstances, their household, and you got a problem with it, that's hypocrisy. Like anybody that has a problem with this, you don't have a problem with the police beating our children, right? You won't stop that. This is preventive maintenance.
It should be, and
it is.
And you know, I think the problem comes when I'm one of those parents. I don't think you should beat your kids when you're angry, because the point is lost. And you know, I grew up getting hit with everything in the house. Like my mother,
Hot Wheels,
right?
It extension cords.
Like she beat your ass with this.
Let me tell you, I had one time I got whooped with 3 switches braided and soaked in water.
That's some premeditated ass whooping right there.
I got is real shit.
So right now, what I try to do is when I'm mad at one of my kids for something that they've done, yeah, I want to get at them, but physically, it's not even worth me putting my hands on them, because first of all, I'm the bigger, stronger entity. I'm supposed to prevail, right? Like, so my son can't really fuck with me. Like, he know he can't whoop my ass, right? Now, certain shit my son needs to be checked about, but is it always about me beating the fuck out of you? It's really not. Sometimes it's about the conversation, depending on the rapport you have with your children. Because I can have a conversation with my son that penetrates, where I say, listen, this is right now, what you just did is a violation of masculinity. This is why I'm upset with you, because you violated man law, right? And I'm not only am I upset, I'm disappointed. It hurts a kid.
It should make a
to hear
that you're
that I'm disappointed.
It should. It's supposed to.
Right.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
100%. But let me tell you this. Listen, for me, when I saw this video, I happened to be riding with my children.
Yes, sir. Your girls. He always make a point of saying he got girls.
I got an 11 and a 12-year-old, right? Okay. I showed them this video.
Right.
And you know what I said? Not only do I agree with him, but I think he should have went, took a break, ate a sandwich, had a glass of juice, and came back and whooped her motherfucking ass again. And told my kids, don't ever think you too big.
Well, now I got some people who are watching. First of all, shout out to Zakita Bell.
Shout out.
Who is family from St. Paul, Minnesota.
Yes.
Hit like, hit share that live up there.
Do that. Let's talk about it.
Hey, I got a lot of love in the Twin Cities, though. I got a lot of partners who I went to school with from the Twin Cities. North Minnie, Wayne Richards, who's on my Facebook right now. My Minneapolis, your boy popped in Minneapolis,
Minnesota
in the 90s. Yes, sir. My wife is from Minnesota.
Hey, Minnesota.
Yes, sir. And Zelenon's watching. Zelenon says, is she wrong if she didn't have any guidance in that in the first place, or is that what she knows?
It looked like she had some guidance.
But we don't know.
It looked like he was there. No, we are assuming. We are assuming. I agree.
Yeah.
But right now, from what we have, it looked like Dad's involved.
Yeah.
It looked like Dad's involved.
Well, he whooped her ass like he paid the bill.
Right. So let's give some credit where it's due.
At the top chat popping. Shout out to Wayne Richards, my brother.
Shout out.
My fellow Hall of Famer, my fellow Wildcat. Wayne and I know that it's a bond that can't be broken. One of my former teammates.
Okay.
My guy, man. Me and Wayne actually got into one of the biggest race brawls. It was beautiful. It's beautiful. That's why my life reads like a book. So shout out to Wayne Richards, man. Mm-hmm. You know love no matter what. I could be 70 and I see Wayne somewhere. I'm getting up out of my wheelchair like, I'm gonna get you. You better leave him alone. So shout out to Wayne Richards, man. That's my partner, man.
Yeah.
We got a lot of people on the.
No, I see y'all. That's love, man. Come on and talk about it with us, right?
No. That's my partner.
No, well, they all ain't your
No, people who show love. I get a lot of love for the show.
You do, and you should. And you are the mayor. Well, Kevin Barnes.
It's Chocolate City.
Yeah. Well, all that. You still the mayor.
Shout out to 3041 North, man. Keep Terry's the man. 414-811.
See how he deflect? That's brother's code. That brother's code.
But we don't know what the whole story was behind it. We just
so let's go with what we know.
It was a snapshot.
He
was whooping her ass because he supposedly caught her having sex.
And listen, and again, and you have a problem with that. Who has a problem with that?
Well, I think the fact that there's such an investment that could kind of be made with this little girl, because first of all, I gotta understand why she's so rebellious. Like, why in her mind? Like, is it the fact that this little boy maybe he got that good game, right? Because let me tell you something. Your boy didn't talk,
and they all should have got their ass.
So she's
I agree.
She's left vulnerable.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I don't know if this father is taking the time to sit down with his little girl. We don't know what his parenting.
No, we don't. So let's stop assuming that it was less than. Let's assume that he's as involved as he is involved in what we see. Let's not go by what they tell us and tell us black men aren't involved and there's no fathers.
Right.
What we see is a black father that's involved. Let's not take that away from him based on listen. And so if somebody texts in and said, "Well, I know that's Willie Williams and he ain't been around his daughters."
Will ain't do that shit.
Right. Okay, that's different. But right now, from what we know, let's stop taking credit from this brother. He's disciplining his children. You know what I'm saying? He's involved in her life. He found out some kind of way. She's 12 years old. You know what I'm saying? We don't have no problem. We see.
She ain't even supposed to be thinking about fucking.
So hello, somebody for redirecting
Something
her.
Wrong.
So
who's her mama?
That's fine. We don't know, but we do know who her daddy is.
Situations and circumstances.
Listen, let's give that man some credit. The police will be beating on her in a few years.
What if he wiped the stripper?
If he did, but right now that's not what we see. What we see is a black man that's involved, and stop letting them tell you about us.
Okay, but I'm saying that the name of the show is Situations and Circumstances.
Yes, sir.
So maybe he
not imaginary situations.
No, real life shit. So maybe he wiped the stripper.
Maybe,
and maybe that's why the mama. Because first of all,
maybe
if you get caught fucking in my house, I'm gonna tell you gonna whoop your ass first. It's probably not gonna be me.
Ever happened to you?
Yes.
How did it go down?
My father was an old school Southern gentleman. And I think my father was just actually happy that growing up in the 80s, I hadn't been converted to being homosexual. And my father was
glad you like women's.
I think and I can imagine that it's shocking all to walk in on your son. And I don't mean to tell you.
You kind of grin as you close the door, like, hey,
he was tearing that shit up. I mean, I really was doing my thing.
Are you the daddy of the daughter?
Well, it wasn't no daughter.
No, it wasn't. It was.
Well, no, I thought you were saying that we have a baby. No, that was.
The daughter was the one.
That was somebody. I didn't have it that way.
But she had a daddy.
She did, and she got in trouble.
And her daddy didn't smile. He wasn't grinning like that.
Walk in and see what my
it didn't matter.
Right.
If he had, he would. It ain't nothing he'd have been.
Shout out! If y'all listen, if you watching the show,
you almost said some bad.
If you got caught when you was young getting it in, hit me up.
Versus if you caught your 12-year-old right now getting it in.
Right.
Talk about.
Well, I wasn't 12.
Be honest.
We got to explain that.
Well, she was 12.
She was 12, which is ass whooping all day long.
Yes.
First of all, I'm not against that, bro.
Okay.
But I would hope.
That's the first time I heard you say it.
No, I would hope that he's invested enough time.
He's invested
in his little girl, because I have a daughter.
I got 3.
And thank you. And we have a relationship where you doing that in my house, and I won't put it past them because kids break your heart.
You can't think about what you was doing.
That's a serious issue, though. And I did do it. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's to be a daddy, and you used to be the most fucked up person in the world.
Ain't that how it be? Let me tell you.
Tragic
God gave me 3 daughters. I heard him laughing.
Right.
He was laughing.
I can still hear him laughing.
He knew what kind of little nasty nigga I was.
Right.
And he gave me 3 daughters.
I even know, and I wouldn't even know.
Well,
I seen you humping on. No, I'm just kidding.
Listen, though, let me go back to Baba Link and talk about your ass.
Right? And especially don't talk about Kappa. Beverage.
No, hey.
Shout out to Wayne Richards, man. He said KB one of a kind, man. You already know, man. Legendary days, man. My boy, man, Wayne, we got
the one and only, but not the only one.
Hey, man. That
Hey.
boy Wayne, hey, that's my man, 50 grand right there. You know what I'm saying?
All right, no, he's a good dude.
No, I'm just saying.
I'm talking about,
no, Wayne.
I don't know Wayne. I was talking about you.
I'm giving my partners some
So you want to argue that you was a good dude? Like,
Yeah, man. So, but the one thing I think that video represented is that it shows you that this myth about us not being involved with our children and this myth about us not being involved parents
and then
is bullshit. Now, once again, I have to reiterate, and what we're discussing is,
what's going on, Boucher?
first of all, we're discussing this video I put in the People's News Network, which is my Facebook group.
Yes.
And maybe you're not a member
Visit
of the group.
it.
You need to
Visit
go.
it.
Don't visit.
Join it.
This shit. I'm the admin. Send me
All that.
right.
Yeah, all that.
And he beat her ass. He caught her doing what she was doing. She was 12 years old. He beat the stuffing out of Ed McMuffin. And then I related the fact that once upon a time when I was about 16 years old, Reverend Barnes came in and caught your boy upside down.
Little nasty naked.
Yeah. Getting it in.
Yeah, and out.
Nah,
and in again.
In and out.
Yeah.
Push it.
Listen, if you ever need a scripture for that, you know what I'm saying, holler at your boy. You know what I'm saying?
But you know, my father's reaction to it was
well, you the boy.
But if
her father's reaction was a little different. I guarantee you.
I can tell y'all this. Had my mom had caught me, this story would be totally different. I would have slept in Lincoln Park for at least a week. I guarantee you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's one of the things that's why I always say nobody has a dad that's better than my father. My family reunion is coming up this week. Shout out to the Barnes family. You know, my pops was an incredible individual, and people who watch the show who know me, who remember Mr. Barnes, know my pops was one of those dudes where, you know, he was like an old Tupac because he just gave you game every time he opened his mouth. And anybody who ever encountered him, they know what I'm talking about. So, but my father, you know, his reaction to it was because he literally caught me in the same situation that this little girl was caught in, and that's why when I seen it, I said, "Oh shit." I remember Pops walked in, and you know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
And he didn't. You know, the only thing my father did the next day, because he had to actually work on my car.
Okay.
And he asked me, and I'll never forget. And this is the equivalent of the birds to talk about the birds and the bees with my father. A man of action, not a whole lot of words, right? Okay. Depending on what you're talking about. But he says to me, says to me, he's fixing the car. We get good into fixing the car. And I thought maybe he was going to avoid it. And he says to me, "Do you got some condoms?" And I said, "Yeah." He said, "All right." And he never said nothing else about it.
That was it. But did you lie? You really didn't have no condom?
No, I did.
You saw something.
I know. It was my brother's. I stole them. I was in his room. Shout out to Bear Meat.
What up,
Bear Meat? In his bed,
in
his room, with using his.
He continues to tell your business, man.
I was a player.
You're gonna need to come and.
I should be in the high school Hall of Fame for that shit. When you see that in the movie, you're gonna be like, "Man, I love this dude," right? So, I had a good life, man. Situations and
circumstances, man. And then we see the discrepancy here between how we feel about that. But listen,
it's all bad.
So what
I've told my whole life now.
So what about, man? We got the instance, right, where we got the store on 23rd and Keith here in Milwaukee from the 414. You know what we talking about?
Faith Groceries.
And the owner allegedly pulled a gun on a kid that was stealing.
Yeah.
Okay. Now wait. First of all, I got to give my disclaimer. It's terrible. It's a tragedy, right? Don't do it, okay? But I'm gonna ask you though, seriously.
Okay.
You come outside and somebody is stealing something from your home.
Right.
What do you do?
My home or my business?
Does it matter?
It does.
Okay, so tell me the difference between your home and your business. Why it matters for one and doesn't matter for the other.
Well, my home is where I lay my head and my children lay their head. So the vulnerability is higher.
Okay.
My business is insured and is protected against liability like this. And for me, the ends justify the means. If I'm doing business in said community, which I know is impoverished, which I know that are dealing with situations that dictate their circumstances, I have to act accordingly. So I'm not gonna come out half-half. Because pulling out a gun for me is serious business. Now I call that going to the mattresses. When I pull a gun out, I'm serious.
Yes, sir.
And I'm not pulling my pistol out unless you done piss me all the way the fuck off. And one of the ways you can do that is by coming into my home where I lay my head and my children lay their head. You come into my place of business, the liability is a lot higher. I'm not, unless you threaten my life, but you could steal, like if I was the manager of a store and I didn't own a store, you could steal all you want. Because I'm gonna be like, look, you got insurance? Or either do business somewhere else. I don't think these Arabs have a rapport with our community that they should have.
They don't. I don't disagree with that. But I am going to stir the pot a little bit, because let me tell you something that I tell to my children is we don't steal.
Right.
You know what I mean? We don't steal. We don't. That's not something that we do. If it comes down in this household and you done took from, the harshest punishment comes down, because we don't do that. We just don't do that. And so I even dare challenge the idea that some people that have a business, right, are starting on, and I'm stirring the pot a little bit. I love black people, but some people are starting a business, you know, where they sleep at their business.
Right.
Because that's what they can afford, because they've invested everything they have in their business. And so you have storefronts where people sleep upstairs. Right. You know what I mean? So again, when you go back and people are they come and they steal from you, and you're able to differentiate and say, well, yeah, if it's my business, I let it go because I got insurance. But if it's my house, I shoot them. Well, some people, the lines are blurry. So some people sleeping at their business, right?
Right.
But you have these little nigglets, right? You know what I mean? Now listen, stop. Oh yeah, we switching positions, right?
I'm gonna say that. Look, first of all, I'm thrown.
No, because you cannot. You
what
cannot.
Did you just call them?
Nigglets. You cannot fucking steal. Don't fucking steal. Don't steal. Now here's when I say steal. My version, my understanding of what stealing is may be a little different, right? I don't believe that you're stealing from a corporation, because a corporation is built upon ripping you off, taking advantage of you, becoming richer while making you poor. I don't believe, but a corporation doesn't have a soul. But when you steal from another individual, right? You see what I'm saying? I think that's the difference. Don't fucking steal. Don't steal. Teach your kids not to steal.
Situations and circumstances.
If you're a Christian, it's in your Ten Commandments.
If I'm hungry, if I ain't ate, and I don't know no better, I'm a kid.
Let me tell you.
Here's food. I'm gonna steal it.
Let me tell you.
I ain't ate.
Oh, yeah, you still? Who you stealing from? Because let me tell you something. Let me tell you something that you've heard me say from day one. It's the right way to do wrong.
And we can all agree on
okay.
That. And we agree we're gonna do some wrong shit.
So listen. And if it's time to eat, and I got to go to the Walmart Corporation and get back from what they done stole from me, that's something different from if you're going to steal from your auntie and steal out her purse. These are different circumstances. These are different thefts. In my humble opinion, somebody tell me if you disagree, and I'll tell you if I disagree with your disagreement.
Damn, that's too much disagreeing.
Hello, somebody.
Clearly, Clever said, you guys got any lighter topics, or is everything super intense? Sometimes we go light, man. Sometimes we go hard. It is what it is.
Well, I like left-handed pelicans. They're very, you know what I mean?
Okay.
They tend to fly west.
Sometimes we do go light, though. Sometimes, and I can bring up the shows where we just took. I thought I had written. You know what I mean? I thought I had written something that was a little.
We had a show we did about spoons. I think you might enjoy it.
Spoons. I don't even remember that. I know we did a show called Free Porn. Like, we've done a whole bunch of shows, man.
So no, listen. So do we need to do something silly next time? Was that what we need to do?
You know, it's ebb and flow, man. Sometimes, because you got to think about situations and circumstances. And if you don't really understand that, see, this is what I'm saying. $1 million worth of game in a spoon is this. If you find yourself in a hole, the first thing you need to do is stop digging.
Right.
And that comes from Westside Zeladon. Right? He told me that one time. And out of all the shit Zeladon has ever told me, that's the one thing I've always remembered. He told me that one time. He said, bro, when you find yourself in a hole, you know, the first thing you need to do is stop digging. So there's a lot of maintenance that goes into you being you, which is what this whole extension of with the Warrior Report and me discussing detoxing and me discussing vitality capsules.
Yes.
You know, organic living, us dealing with internal versus external. You know, you really got to think about it. It's like driving a car with a good body and a good paint job or with a bad engine. Like, how far are you actually going? And I think that's where we're at as Black people. Revolution comes in layers. Revolution is defined by progress. Revolution is defined by the aggressiveness of the intervention. So when you say revolution, you're talking about a hurry up, quick change turnaround. Revolution means full circle, a full revolution. And shit moves slower than that. So if you start talking about food and how we eat, that's one part of it. If you start talking about the way we are not informed as voters, that's an entirely different part of it. If you start talking about the economic disparities, that's another part of it. If you start talking about our cultural norms, which shouldn't be cultural norms, but due to the cultural dysfunction, they have become just that. So you get stuck. And you can't see the forest for the trees. And a lot of people get caught up and mired in the circumstances. Mm-hmm. But those circumstances are entirely dictated by the situation. Or should I say it back? I'm saying it backwards. The situations are dictated by the circumstances. Mm-hmm. I don't want to confuse nobody. I'm saying if you're born poor, you end up in poor nigga situations. If you're born rich, you end up in rich nigga situations. If you are soft, you end up in soft nigga situations. And that's about being compromised, because if you're not a stand-up cat, and you ain't a cat that ever fought for anything, if you're not a cat that has ever represented anything except for yourself, and you've always been passive and squeamish, you end up getting dealt with by certain individuals that way. They talk to you that way. They treat you that way. They subjugate you that way. This is the role that Black people play in this country.
Yes, sir. Why? And how do we stop that, right? Because
our situation, our circumstances have dictated our situations. Coming into this country as slaves, being oppressed, being held back, being tied down, and then there's a lot of psychological warfare and a lot of psychological effects in which Black people don't even expect better because they have lowered expectations. So I'm saying these circumstances have dictated our situations. Why is the Black hood so volatile? Because you got a bunch of poor people who live in direct proximity of each other who are all fighting for the same crumbs. So that battle never stops.
But that's not by mistake, right? So
it's not.
Some things are too coincidental to be coincidence.
Not
right?
at all.
Right. So when you find these things happen in the same way, it's a system.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Systematic.
It's systematic and systemic.
AKA institutionalized racism.
Okay, so like, for example, you have another post from the People News Network. You had a white security guard.
Okay.
That pulled a gun out on a sheriff. Okay. Now, because the sheriff was Black. Right. So now and the rent-a-cop was white. So I'm just saying, we even getting to the point where the lines of authority are blurred because of race.
Right.
So this white rent-a-cop felt justified pulling his little gun out on a sheriff, right? Because the sheriff was Black. So that's one instance, right? That's the white privilege that comes out. But there's a whole nother undercurrent to that story that I want to talk about, because while that happens, like this Black sheriff has a civil lawsuit against the security guard and the security company, right?
Okay.
Because he's saying that he is emotionally and psychologically distressed because he had someone pulled a gun out on him and threatened his life. Okay. He's on medical leave and he's suing for lost wages. Now, this is a dude that sticks his gun out and puts it in Black people's face on a regular basis. So if you're able to claim some sort of psychological and emotional damage because somebody pulled a gun out on you, right? What are you doing to people on a regular, everyday basis in these Black communities, sheriff? And how do you feel about that, my brother? Because I know you're familiar with the stories from the People News Network.
Yeah, but there's so many different instances of right now of Black people being wholeheartedly mishandled by law enforcement agencies. But you have to understand that law enforcement agencies within themselves represent an aggressive stance towards people of color. They always have and they always will.
That's what in their
minorities.
That's what they was made to do.
That's control.
Overseers.
You got to understand that police in themselves are not because rich people do crimes that you need detectives to solve, right? Like, but poor people do crimes you just need a uniform officer to solve. So the law enforcement, their intention is never really to go after rich people. Yeah, it's just about getting the poor man, because the poor man is, he gets vilified because you are poor. Like, you show up in court with a public defender with some ragged ass, and this motherfucker shows up with a high-powered attorney with a Brooks Brothers suit and all this kind of thing. It's about the perception of the jury saying, when you want to create reasonable doubt, when you look at that rich dude versus that poor dude, you have to say, who's the one who probably really did it? It's probably the poor dude.
But ultimately, the rich lawyer and the public defender are all working for the same people to begin with. So you really never stood a chance.
And you know why they working together?
Because that's where they get their money from.
Because the circumstances dictated the situation.
So here's the thing.
I got him, you got him. The situation
and we've got you all.
Let's make a deal.
So here at the end of the day, right? So what are, because this is solution-based radio, right?
We tried. We hope.
Oh no.
A lot of times we don't come to no solution.
No, let me tell you, it ain't that sometimes we don't come to the solution.
We don't tell y'all.
But we try.
Right.
We go hash it out and fight it out in the alley afterward. But we try. Yeah. So, but again, like at some point or another, when does it become clear to us? Even the small amount of us, and when you take into account all the black people, even just the small amount of black people that agree and are ready to move on and understand what's what. Like, we understand, we see the lies, we see the white supremacy, we see it in the laws, we see it. It's a hole in the bucket.
Who speaks up for black people?
Farrakhan.
No, I'm looking at we got 2020 coming up. We got a whole election coming.
Farrakhan. And everybody that they accept is going to have to disassociate themselves with Farrakhan. Am I right or wrong?
No, you're right. But I'm looking at the DNC and this thing with Trump. And of course, first of all, there's an assault on black women. Let's really stop it.
By your president.
Right. But is he racist? Is he not? Doesn't fucking matter. It doesn't matter. Because at his rally, they were saying, send her home. What this was is a chant in unison of saying, we are bigots. We are bigots. Right? Because I don't think a white person ever deserves the right to tell me why I should go back where I came from.
Where'd you come from?
You should go back.
Why don't you go where you come from, you hypocrite, bigot, pink devil?
Right.
You're not from here.
Right.
How the fuck do you get the right to tell somebody to go somewhere? You're not from here. You see what I'm saying? But the whole hypocrisy of it. Like, and then do you have to, who's to blame for the hate that hate made? There's some people out here that fucking hate your guts. And let me tell you, and anybody that starts to learn more about history and what you've done, it's natural to hate your guts.
Right. It's Outlaw Radio, man. It's situations and circumstances. On a Thursday night, we started at 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. Look, we'll be back on Saturday night.
Is it over already?
No, it's not over. No, it's not over at all. We still got a lot of time. I see a lot of people listening, new listeners.
Talk to us.
People
come
come out, right?
Please.
The show is interactive, and we simulcast on YouTube as well as Facebook. So subscribe to our YouTube page. I put the link up on my Facebook group. It is, I'm sorry, on my personal Facebook page. It's Kevin Barnes. That's my government name. And I put, we need to support Milwaukee. And we suck on YouTube. Our numbers are shitty. We get a lot of love from the mill, and I appreciate y'all on Facebook. But we got to get this YouTube thing stepped up because it's important that we have a real imprint for Milwaukee on YouTube, because I see every other city represented. And I think Milwaukee has something to say, and I think Milwaukee should be represented correctly. And the one way we can do that is to guarantee mighty men of color a platform. And that's what I like to say about what we do on the People's Network. The Warrior Report, in which we talk about detoxifying and vitality. And as you get older, you become an OG. You need to do the inside as well as the outside, right? But then we do Outlaw Radio. We talk about the crazy political structure of America and how institutionalized racism has directly affected us as men of color. I don't pretend to, act like white privilege does not exist. I accept it. I expect it. I think white people should hold me back, because if you don't hold me back, I'm going to tear this motherfucker up. Because I'm a black man and I'm full of melanin and I'm full of soul and energy. Whatever I do it. Right? Mm-hmm. And that's me as a man of color. I walk to the beat of a different drum, and it's usually my goddamn drum that he's playing when I walk in, because I paid him to play it when I walked in.
Listen,
the show's interactive, man.
Yeah, or he felt you.
Right.
But man, listen, so I think that you give them, you give them such a pass. Like, you know what I'm saying? You give them such a pass. Like, one of the things they got on my list to talk about was picnics.
Okay.
Like, these fucking devils, they celebrate hanging us, man. They take pictures. They think it's glamorous. It was part of their culture,
yes,
right?
Sir.
How do we give them a pass? They devils. They killed us. Who's to blame for the hate? And then they come down and act like we are wrong for feeling some kind of way that you used to celebrate our lynchings. You talk about we can't pull ourselves up by our bootstraps, but then there's so many instances where when we beat you at your own system. When we had a Black Wall Street, you had to bomb them. You had to kill them. The lynching wasn't just random lynching of black people. They lynched business owners. Right. They lynched the people that was competitive in their market, right? You see what I'm saying? And then turn around and act like we can't compete. We beat you at your own shit so many times. You had to kill us and bomb us and set our shit on fires and give us fucking venereal diseases and blankets with smallpox and shit. How do you motherfuckers stand up and act like you're righteous? That fucks me up. And then when you get black people that support that shit, like, listen, somebody come and tell me where my understanding is going. You motherfuckers is fucked up.
You know what? One thing I love right now is I love your energy. And it's beautiful. And once again, if you think I'm giving them a pass, please don't get it twisted. I just practice elevated thought, right?
Yes, sir.
And I think that understanding your enemy is the first thing you need to do in order to defeat him.
Do you understand them?
And I do understand.
They're fucking devils. They want your children to die.
But I understand their mentality. So when I look at Trump right now, and I look at the Trumpers, and I look at white people who hid, let's talk about the cowardice of racism.
That's the thing. You're not even brave warriors.
This is why I don't respect racism.
Yeah.
For so long you hid. You said you wouldn't vote for Trump. You tried to make us believe. And I even heard a lot of white people who were supposedly political experts say that there would be a broker convention, which is something that you have to totally look into. Because first of all, there hasn't been a broker convention for almost 100 years. And it's really just a situation where they deem that their nominee, the person who got selected as the nominee, is not who they think should run. I knew that wasn't going to happen. Once Trump got in, you got a lot of white people who jumped in after that and said, oh, now I'm going full white. See, white nationalism is not bad. Black nationalism is not bad. What's bad is racism. It's not about nationalism. It's okay to love yourself. I'm not mad at a white man because he loves himself. I'm mad at that motherfucker because he can juke the stats and directly influence legislation.
But it's working
and
for them.
I end up getting screwed over.
It's working for them.
Right.
It's working.
It's
working.
Right. So what I do is I try to prepare myself accordingly. Right. Going into the world, there's no rosy goggles on. Like, I already know what I'm up against. And I'm a big dark-skinned brother with African hair.
You're not that dark, but okay.
I'm brown. Like come on, Zach. You can't deny this shit. Come on. There's no vitiligo.
There's some hue.
Right. Don't make me show my nipple.
There's light hue.
Right. Right. He said, this motherfucker say nipple. I quit. I'm not fucking with him on that one. You know I can shut your ass.
So what? You have a large areola. No one wants to see.
I'm going there. Don't tempt me with a good time.
It's not my idea of a good
time. I know when I walk into a room full of white people, all eyes is on me.
Give them something to see.
Well, first of all, because I'm over 6 feet tall. You know,
Barely.
well, I'm 6'3", damn near.
You're not.
Bullshit, I'm 6'2.5".
Okay.
Show the measurement.
I don't want to argue about the
Nah,
argument.
you're
You're not that tall.
Bullshit. I tell you, somebody who I slapped said he is tall. He slapped the shit out of me. He's tall.
No, you're just short.
Yeah. So when I already know it comes, and I wear a scowl on my face, which is the natural scowl.
Yeah.
This is why you get the masks that come from Africa, and they all look menacing because our natural way to approach the world, we're warriors. So you're always looking, like you're always lurking in the jungle,
especially when you encounter demons.
Right. So you got your spear drawn.
Yeah.
You know.
Poke
Brother Jay say a bunch of K boys try to house my drum. That means they tried to steal my car.
Mm-hmm.
People don't know what that means.
Oh yeah.
They don't know what that means.
Yes, sir.
So that's how I approach the world.
What's the next line?
Voodoo.
Voodoo.
Running from my magic.
Hey.
You thought that?
No. Here's the thing. Church taught you that was the devil.
Hey,
that was your religion before they taught you Christianity, which is the devil.
So what I say is I don't dwell on it. So I'm never surprised when a white person does something racist. It doesn't surprise me that Trump is as racist as he is. It doesn't surprise me that his followers, because there's this Obama effect that we deal with constantly and consistently, in which white people were so pissed off that it was a nigga in the White House.
They don't want them to be mermaids, let alone in the White House.
I'm right.
you motherfuckers don't want them to be fictional characters and shit. Where you try to come and try to be Egyptians and shit. You want to play? Listen.
Right. These are the people who have whitewashed everything.
Kung Fu.
Was Liz Taylor?
See what I'm saying? Joan of Arc.
She won an Academy Award for the bullshit.
Listen. Go away, you motherfuckers. Listen. As history becomes correct, you devils are just that. You're just devils.
I don't like to call them devils.
I do. Fuck you, devils.
Right. And that's what's up, man. It's Outlaw Radio. We're talking about situations and circumstances. What's up with Kamala Harris trying to beg for our forgiveness? You done lied, you done moved, and you done drew.
How many?
She said it's hurtful to her.
No. How many fucking families did you destroy? Fuck you and being hurtful to you. Go away.
Right. The fact that you don't even like brothers, right?
Don't go away.
This is the dilemma, because shout out to all my brothers who married to white women. But when you come back and you want to tell me how much you love the people, and how much you want to be a part of us, the one thing that I look at you as, what did you do with your family? If you ain't married to a black woman, there's an issue.
Oh, somebody calling you like, don't talk about my white wife.
He can't call me. No, he can't call me on Messenger.
Somebody doing something.
That's a black people rule. You can't call me on Messenger during the show.
But I wish you could, because I want to hear what you had to say, because he on point with you, and you want to argue with the bullshit. Let's listen.
Yeah, boy, no. I ain't fucking with you.
I wanted to hear it.
No, call me back after the show.
Serena Williams supporting ass.
No, so even with Serena Williams, she said that she'll never stop fighting.
Fighting what?
Oppression.
Huh? How? What are you doing to fight oppression?
Well, she said that.
When I like to fight oppression, I just go find a white cop. Go away. Get the fuck out of here. For real?
You a true fool, man.
Let me tell you, stop with the bullshit. Like, don't just. Here's the thing: be who you are. Say, I'm a house nigga. We's doing good. Boss treats me well. I gets paid. Go away with that shit. And I respect that.
Well, you didn't even let me finish what Serena said.
I'm sorry. I get excited. Listen. Go ahead. I will be quiet.
I hope everybody else enjoys this show as much.
Listen, and me too.
Right.
But I did interrupt. I was rude.
We've been in for an hour. I'd rather leave you one more than not get none. Please pay attention to the show. Yeah. We got a lot of big things coming up.
And we'll be back Saturday.
But I do want to do a hip hop snob moment. So let me do it.
Hey, I wish I would have been prepared. What's up?
Well, I gotta bring the hip hop snob back.
Nigga say, hey, you need the Kango. What's up, the snob?
The hip hop snob tonight.
Yeah.
Jermaine Dupri, who is the proprietor of So Def Records.
Yes, sir.
Keep in mind, I don't really give Jermaine Dupri some of the credit that other people who are hip hop snobs and connoisseurs of hip hop in its original entity and the real amalgamation of it within the 90s for what it should be. But he made some comments in regards to female rappers And he talked about them basically all being strippers and them not really bringing anything to the game. As a hip-hop fan, this is something that we've said for a very long time. First of all, you got to understand that there's only certain females in this game who get the same kind of respect. You start with the Lady of Rage. You go back to Shy Rock from the Funky Floor +1. You go back to Roxanne Shante. You know what I mean? You go back to, like I said, Marvelous out on the West Coast with SIBO. You know, Yo-Yo, who was down with Cube and the Lynch Mob. I would give Lil' Kim some credit because a lot of brothers have respect for Lil' Kim. There's, you know, Queen Latifah. You have to say Latifah earned a lot of respect because of her business moves.
UNITY.
And my sister, Rod Digger, who right now is with Lord Jamal on his podcast.
Yeah.
But there's been very limited examples of females being able to be respected with this microphone in this hip-hop genre. Because, you know, brothers like their women sexualized. You know, I don't want to hear you rap about the same shit cuz rap about. Tell me about your ass. Tell me about your titties. Tell me what you do with it if you got your mouth on it. Trina.
Spice.
And you notice
Spice One.
I didn't mention.
No, not Spice One. Not Spice One. What was the chicken I'm talking about? What? No. You know what I'm talking about though, right? Not Spice One. It was abroad. I'm sorry. My bad.
He'll get it.
Yeah,
he'll get it.
No, I didn't mean to interrupt the hip hop.
So Trina, I didn't mention Trina because I don't think Trina is somebody who's ever lyrically responsible. And
Yes,
I still don't respect Trina lyrically. I respect her status, but I don't respect her lyrically. There's a lot of females who come in. We had Lena Jackson from North Carolina who's bubbling up right now. We had her a long time ago because I heard her spit. She had Darkness Brim, and I played her video. And Lena Jackson she's a very deep feminine rapper. Mm-hmm. I don't think Jermaine Dupri was wrong for what he said, because when you listen to Nicki Minaj, when you listen to Foxy Brown, and even Lil' Kim, in a lot of regards, you don't really get our attention unless you tell us about some pussy. You don't really get our attention unless you tell us about giving me some head, right?
Right.
So now you have this new wave of female rappers, the City Girls, and you have Saweetie, and you have Megan Thee Stallion. If you're not keeping up on hip hop, that's on you. I still keep my ear to the streets. But the hip hop snob says Jermaine Dupri wasn't wrong. And there's no female that has ever got above the stratosphere like a Nas or a Jay-Z or a Tupac.
Right.
Females have never achieved it. It's just like with the WNBA. There's never been a female Jordan.
Right.
There's never been a female Magic.
Will there be?
Even in women's boxing, there's never been a female Tyson.
Right.
There's never been a female Muhammad Ali. I'm here to tell you that things are set up the way they are for a reason. And if you respect me as a man, and maybe you don't, that's your issue as well. But you respect me as a man, you respect me to be able to handle the business and go to war. Men are hunters and gatherers. We go outside the house and we do the savage shit that you got to do. Some of us have gotten away from it, and I apologize. And a lot of our rap music is feminized and compromised, which I also apologize about.
All right.
But I'm here to tell you that real man still exists.
All right.
There's still alpha males in this community.
Hello, somebody.
And we don't want to dominate you. We want you to walk with us.
Hello.
But we expect you to take instruction when you should. Right?
Yes, sir.
So as good a woman as you are, what makes you a great woman is that you know your place.
The difference between weakness and meekness. Hello.
Right.
Yeah.
So I just wanted people to understand that. With Jermaine, and I'm not a Jermaine Dupri fan, and I like realistically talking, I don't give a fuck about Crisscross and all that shit he did. And like Escape was you know, I loved Escape when I was young, but it's not, you know, it's not that. And he even said some other controversial shit, like he was a bigger influence on hip hop than Outkast from Atlanta, which is the dumbest shit you could ever say, because Outkast is top 3 rap groups of all times. Separate, you love 3000. Separate, you love Big Boy. But together, Outkast is Outkast. And I'm talking about the original Dungeon
Dirty
Family,
South.
Southern Playalistic.
That's some groundbreaking shit.
Your comparative output at that time is Crisscross.
And
Jermaine Dupri, shut the fuck up forever. You're not totally wrong, but don't bring up Outkast and compare him to you no more. No,
don't compare anybody to you anymore. And I do want to apologize. I meant to say Choice One. Right. Okay. I don't know if you remember back in the day, it was Choice One. She was one of the first national. Choice One.
Okay.
nasty rapping bitches.
On Rap a Lot.
Yes.
Who made the song that this was
Yes.
Choice. Just Choice. That was her name.
Choice. Okay.
Choice.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and she had a big ass.
Yes, she did.
Yes, she
so
did.
that was my error. I missed.
Right. And Willie D. them came out and destroyed her. I'm just saying, look.
Well, they should have.
Hip hop is like anything else.
Yes, sir.
It's a man's game. And it's hard for people to accept it. This is why you see the insistence on bringing us an openly gay rapper. And you want us to accept that.
But your boy...
And Lil Nas X, and I get all of that because gay now is the new norm.
No, he tricked us into that shit. He got everybody that was going to support him because he was black.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And when he got in support, he was like, he did the switcheroo on you. And
hey,
shit.
girl.
Right. So no, nigga, go away. Like you stop it with that bullshit. So no, I ain't with that. You trick some niggas, not me.
I just want to say this to females: you have the right to rap.
Master P though.
Hip hop is yours too.
Master P says it's time though.
Well, Nikki.
Yes, sir.
You gotta respect. Nikki can rap.
She got skills.
Nikki can spit.
She can.
Due to the situation she was in, or the circumstances that she came in the game on, she was in a certain situation, so she had to sexualize herself.
She did.
And Nikki can spit.
She did. She can.
But she can't. She can't right now reinvent herself. Because if she does, the millions of record sales will go away. If you get down to the essence of hip hop and just do the organic nature of it, as a female, it won't sell because you got to take the wigs and all the contacts and all the makeup and all that bullshit off.
Ass implants.
Right. And just come at us like you are.
And you can.
Because I want to say to sisters this. Understand. Real men love real women. Ooh. Real men don't love weak women. Ooh. Real men don't love subjugated women. Because if they do, they're pimps. Which is a whole different situation.
Yeah.
A pimp demands subjugation. A pimp demands bowing down. A real man does not demand that. What he demands is communication and knowing your role. And baby, I can love you as much as I can as long as you stay in your place.
Listen.
But in the words of Martin, if you walk away from me, I'll just love you from behind. The Hip Hop Snob on a Thursday night. You got something you want to drop, man?
No, not after that, nigga. Go ahead.
Shout out to the
That's what's up.
We'll get my brother in here. We'll be back Saturday night.
Yeah.
Hit like, hit share, follow, subscribe to the YouTube page. It's the world class smartass, the mouthpiece of the movement, aka the Negro Whisperer with
talk to teach, listen to learn, man. All you outlaws, come on, man. Let's get it done.
Shout out to Kamar Carter. Shout out to
3041
North DAMG.
Hey, yes, sir.
It is what it is.
Peace.
I hope you get everything you want. But I hope you want everything you get.
Talk about it.
I see y'all Saturday night.
You sure will. That's what's up. That's what's up. Peace, YouTube. Peace, Facebook. Peace, Instagram. Peace, melanated people. Everybody that I can reach. Peace out, man. Y'all do y'all thing. Be safe. Brother Numsi, I want the knife.